The U.S. and Mexico strike a landmark deal on sugar production, preventing a potential trade war. Under the agreement, Mexico would cut exports of refined sugar and ensure that sugar is not sold below cost across the border. Mexico would also increase enforcement measures and accept penalties for any violations. Despite the benefits, U.S. producers have refused to endorse this deal. They are pushing for even more concessions from Mexico. Joining us right now is Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross. Secretary Ross, it's good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. Yeah, let me ask you, put this in context with your overall negotiations or plans to redo NAFTA. Why did you need to do this sugar deal now in order to clear the path for the NAFTA redo?
Well, it wasn't that it was necessary to do the deal, but it was certainly desirable. Reason being, this has been a very nettlesome, very aggravating factor for quite some little while, and we thought it was a very good idea to try to get it out of the way so that we could get on with the much bigger parts of NAFTA that need changing.
And of course, the sugar producers want more. They want more concessions from Mexico. How are you going to win over the American companies, the sugar producers?
Well, we basically gave them the vast bulk of everything that they had asked for. We're now down to, in their minds, a technical issue, and that is, in the event that the Department of Agriculture forecasts of sugar needs are wrong, and it turns out that much more needs to be brought in, exactly what are the circumstances under which the Mexican sugar could come in? What is the amount of purity? All that kind of sort of inside baseball, or in this case, inside sugar details.
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously people want to see the U.S. producers protected. They want to make sure that there's going to be supply to customers, consumers. But, Secretary, there are real concerns that the cost here is going to be passed on to consumers, that the price of sugar goes up. What are you doing to ensure that doesn't happen, and how worried should we be that we're about to see a spike?
Well, I don't think that this deal should result in a great big spike, because the difference in pricing under the old 2014 agreement, the base price for raw sugar was 22.5 cents, and it now goes to 23 cents. I'm sorry, it was 22.25 cents, now goes to 23. The price of refined is going up. It had been a price of 26 cents a pound. Now that will go to 28 cents a pound. So there are those smallish changes, but I don't think that's really the major part of the transaction. The major part is that there will be a much higher percentage of raw sugar available to the United States refiners, and therefore they will be able to do better because they will make what now is roughly a nickel of refining margin, rather than it being refined in Mexico, or rather than having a particular type of sugar called Estándar that's relatively unique to Mexico coming in substitution for refined sugar.
I see. So you do see that margin being the real positive that U.S. sugar producers should see, that this is really the story of this deal.
Well, the margin, and also a higher percentage of raw sugar coming in, because that's what will determine which country gets the refining margin. Under the old arrangement, there was only going to be 43% raw sugar coming in. Now it's 70%, so there'll be much more sugar for the American firms to refine.